In this vlog, I talked about which app we decided to start building, what our initial marketing strategy will be, and how I'm scoping out competitor apps. Now, if you're brand new to this series, welcome. This is a raw and unscripted video format where I share the journey of our team trying to build apps for profit. And this entry is dated September 28th, 2023. It's about 2 weeks since our last vlog entry. And if you missed that first one, click on right over here. By the way, to everyone who watched that and commented that they didn't mind this sort of raw format, thank you so much for that. It's really encouraging for me to hear. With that said, I hope you enjoy this vlog. Hey, it's Chris here. So I want to give you an update on how this project has been going. So I have presented the idea to our team about this, and it's the same thing I told you in devlog 1, what the idea is. And I told the team to go ahead and start brainstorming some ideas about technical challenges, about gamification ideas, and just anything. Free for all, let's just brainstorm and get some thoughts on the page. And we work better offline. And so we didn't hold a meeting and have everyone brainstorm together like that. We just did it asynchronously and had everyone think about it and then contribute and update this document. Here are some of the things that came up, some technical challenges on proposed database architecture, pros and cons of that stuff, potentially what we might do in terms of how to analyze the data using AI to reveal those insights to the user, some gamification proposals on how to make it motivating for users to continue using these apps, and some monetization options. So all of these are just ideas, nothing set in stone. The other thing that I started doing was to learn about the business side of apps, because we focused mostly on development and coding. We have that down pat, but we don't know the other side about how to efficiently and smartly grow apps and monetize them and make money with them. So one of my favorite places to learn that sort of stuff is with Steve Young at App Masters. And the reason for this is because he backs up all of his claims with data, slides, numbers. That's what I've noticed about his videos. And I think they're more concrete than someone just saying, you should do this, you should do that. And the reason he has that data is because he runs an agency that helps other people grow their apps. So he's constantly testing things and figuring out what works. And then he shares those learnings through App Masters. And he also interviews a lot of other industry experts. So anyways, what I've been doing is watching select videos, and I've also been taking notes. So I will share these with you. So far, I've watched 2 of his videos, and I'm trying to really absorb the information. So I'm taking notes, and by watching a bunch of these videos, I can then take a look at these notes and formulate a marketing plan for our app. So that's what my plan is. So I'm learning a ton with watching every video. I'll share these notes with you, don't worry. The other thing that we have done since the last devlog is to figure out what app to build first. Now, I didn't want to choose a heavier app because I want to get some quick wins under the belt. So I wanted to go with something quick and easy that we can actually launch. The worst thing is trying to build a sleep tracker, because even if there's an MVP with a sleep tracker, the concept of tracking sleep, I think, is much harder than, let's say, a mood tracker where the user launches the app and enters in how they're feeling. So that ultimately is what we chose because, like I said, I think it can be done pretty quickly so that we can get a quick win and some quick experience under our belt. Number 2 is that a lot of the elements from this app, I think, are applicable and reusable for other apps. For example, looking at a calendar and seeing historically what you've logged, that calendar can be turned into a reusable component for, let's say, a sleep tracker, where you would also want to look at a calendar, historical data, and see how many hours you've slept, for example. So this is the first app we are tackling. And the other thing that drove this decision, not just the things that I talked about, was doing app keyword research. Now, let me talk about this for a second. Like I said, I think app marketing and the business side of things, it's so important, because if we build an amazing app and it looks and feels great, if no one knows about it, then it's pointless. So I think the marketing aspect is very important. So there are multiple ways to go about it, right? There are paid ways, such as paying for Apple search ads or paying for Facebook ads or whatever to drive downloads and installations. But obviously that costs a lot of upfront capital, and well, not a lot, but it does cost some upfront capital. And I'm more of a risk adverse person. And how I built Code with Chris was through organic search. So that is writing articles, targeting specific keywords to rank for those keywords in Google. And then when people search it, they'll find my article and they will click it. So SEO, basically. There is the same sort of thing for apps. So when someone is searching for an app in the App Store, let's say they search mood tracker, you want your app to pop up, right? And so there was a very interesting video from Steve talking about, I think it's this video, if you search it, and it's something like in the first 5 minutes, he starts talking about a strategy for a couple of his apps where he did no paid marketing. He only targeted specific low competition keywords that all of the big companies are not targeting. So the big companies, Headspace for the meditation app, right? Headspace, they're probably targeting terms like meditation and focus and what is some mindfulness and things like that, right? Those generic, big, lots of search traffic keywords. They're not optimizing for the lower traffic keywords because it's just not worth it for them. You have a limited amount of space in your App Store metadata to include information. So they're going to target the juiciest keywords because they have that authority to rank for those high competition keywords. So this strategy that Steve is talking about here is about identifying those low competition keywords. Because it's low competition, your app should be able to rank for it pretty highly, and it will still bring you some free traffic that you don't have to pay for. So he was showing, what was inspiring was he was showing a couple of his apps that get about 100 downloads a day, and it's making almost $10,000. I think the app number 2 is actually making $10,000 with 100 downloads a day. So then he goes through this process of identifying these low competition keywords. So using AppFollow, a free account, by the way, so they have paid accounts, but using a free account in AppFollow and a free account in Mobile Action. So I signed up for both of these services for free, and I figured out a couple of these keywords here for mood tracking and emotion tracking, which is what we're doing. I figured out about 4, but he says you only need 2. So what we're looking for is a combined traffic number of 50 and a difficulty around 30 to 50. So hopefully this works. I've never done this before, but there are people in the comments of the video saying that this worked for them. So I want to give this a try. So that's my first marketing strategy for the app, is to go for low competition organic keywords. And so using these 2 tools, I'll show you in a sec what I did. It's pretty simple, actually. I'll show you what that keyword process looks like. So I looked for keywords for a bunch of different apps. And because I was able to identify what looks like some good keywords for this mood tracker app, I decided to go with this as a first app for us to do. So that was another driving reason. Okay, so let me show you how you look for keywords. So in AppFollow, if you go to ASO tools here and you go to keyword live ranking, you can type in whatever. Let's say I'll just use what I used. And what this does is it pulls up all of the search results in the App Store, the US App Store, for that keyword. So this would be equivalent to you typing in mood tracker in the App Store app on your phone. These are the results. And what you're looking for is an app that doesn't have too many reviews, because you won't have that many reviews in the beginning. So something like this one has 100 something you could search for one that has 500 something. I didn't pay too much attention to that. I actually just grabbed one of these. So what you want to do when you've targeted an app is, let's just habit tracker. It doesn't make sense. Let's just click this one, mood light, daily mood tracker. So you click this little keyword recommendations button, and it is going to take a look at what keywords this app is using or ranking for. Then you want to sort by popularity, and you want to scroll down and look for an interesting keyword that is around the 30 range to 20 range that you want to look into how competitive it might be. So let's say this one, mental health journal. So what you want to do then is take this keyword. I'll just remember it, mental health journal. You go into mobile action. Under ASO, you go to keyword tracking, and it makes you choose an app when you create this account. So by default, it's Calm. That's why you see that there. And then you click into this keyword research tab, and you type in mental health journal. And this tool will tell you about that keyword. Here it is, search suggestions. I'm going to click that, and it adds it down here. And then you can see the search score is 23 and the difficulty is 40. So that seems a bit high. Search score is 23. So those are the numbers here. This is the search score. This is the difficulty. And then you just repeat this process until you find at least 2 keywords where the traffic adds up to 50 and the difficulty is like around 30. Hopefully not too high. Yeah. That's it. These tools are crazy because there's so many features. It's really easy to get lost in. I felt lost in it, and I had to poke around to really figure out where I can get these metrics for keywords. Yeah, so that's how you do the keyword research. Okay, the other thing that I've done is after we decided we were going to go down this path, I went to the App Store and I punched in a couple of these keywords. I think I'm going to use a daily mood tracker and emotion tracker. I forget exactly. Maybe mood tracker and I don't remember exactly which two, but I punched the keyword into my phone App Store and I downloaded a bunch of apps that I thought were interesting. Now, I haven't gone through them all. My intention is to launch each of them and jot down some thoughts and notes, and just to see if I can see any patterns about how these apps work and what is good and what is not. So when I was scrolling through those search results, I noticed that there were apps that were created by individual people as well. How do I know that? Because on the publisher field, it's like a personal name. It's not a company name. So I thought that was really good because that means that it's not too difficult to rank for. That being a personal indie developer, you can still have your app show up in the search results for the keywords that I'm looking for. So at the bottom of the document, I know this is like not a very organized document, but it's like a brain dump. It's a shared notepad essentially right now. So I was launching the apps. I was just taking notes on what I see, what features there are, what you can do in the apps, what is the monetization model, what are their pricing tiers, what do you get for it, things like that. And also some of my thoughts. So I haven't done it with all the apps I downloaded. I need to continue doing that. And so even by this small exercise, each app takes me about maybe 10 minutes to go through. Even just going through these 5 or 6 apps, I was able to start thinking about what our app would require. And so I started jotting down those notes as well. Keep in mind, there's no wireframes right now. There's nothing. Right now, it's just it's almost like a blob of clay. By looking at other people's apps in this category, I'm starting to get ideas of what I would like for our version of the app. And obviously, these apps are more full featured. I don't want to launch with all of the features because, there's that concept of minimum viable product. You want to launch quickly and start getting data and things like that. So I'm trying to really go with a slimmed down feature set. And if I have ideas I really want to implement that seem a bit bigger, I will mark it as, let's leave it for phase 2. Let's get this launched first so that it's usable and we can start trying to rank this app and then later on build that feature. So that's where we're at now. I want to show you one more thing, because these apps, I mentioned this in the first video, these apps are not in reinventing the wheel. There's a ton of mood tracker apps. There's a ton of sleep tracker, step tracker, water tracker, ton of these. But the way you can stand out is you can still do things a little differently, right? And here's one good example of this non-boring apps calculator. So this person has basically taken that concept. So look at this. This is a basic calculator app that you have on your phone already. You don't need a calculator app, but this one looks so cool. Look at how exciting the numbers look. And I don't remember if there's themes or not, but I didn't download it. It does look like it has themes. But wouldn't you rather use this? So my point is, it's not all about the functionality and who has more features and whatnot. Look at this habit app. It's pretty crazy. Look, so it's just marking that you've done that habit. And then I guess you collect badges perhaps, right? It looks cool. Like even logging that you meditated looks cool. You hold the button and it's like charging energy and then it becomes done. Okay, so that, look, let's see it again. Boom, done, right? Just that would want to make you use this app more than another app, right? So don't feel like you have to create this completely new app idea. Don't feel like you need to like stuff it full of features and have more features than your competitors. I don't think it's about that. At least the way that I want to go about it is to not focus on more features, focus on less features, but make each of those features just a joy to use so that someone would choose your app over another. Anyways, that's devlog 2. That's where we're at right now. The next steps, I think, are to solidify the requirements that we'd want for our app, and then to start to draw some wireframes so that Joash and Iñaki, who will be executing on the development, will have something so that they can start. Basically, this is just a bunch of rough ideas of requirements, so it's not enough to go on. Okay, hope that was helpful. Again, all of this progress that I've shared with you has literally happened in the last week. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope that was helpful. I'll talk to you guys next time.